4 of his last 5.
He's a complete threat, excellent.
Tsarukyan backs him up. Tsarukyan is bouncing now.
This is it. They're heavy shots.
Hammering away with the left, now with the right. This one could be close to done. Wow, Arman Tsarukyan. That's what he wanted.
Welcome to Kyle Anthony's UFC Betting Show. I am Kyle Anthony, and welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the betting show for UFC on ESPN between Arman Tsarukyan and Mateusz Gamrot. We're going to be talking two plays, of course, as well as the main event. And let me tell you something. This main event is a fantastic matchup. Really excited to break this down, as well as see this all unfold. Either guy that does pick up this victory puts themselves in a great position within the division. So we'll see how that goes. But also, let me tell you something, that we're coming off a sweeping performance last weekend. 4-0 for clients. Did hit on our 4% best bet play, which was on Jeremiah Wells, plus 110. Cashed that. Did hit on also Josh Emmett, which I did once it got to plus 200, upgraded to clients. 4-0, plus 13.4 units on the evening. Dominating performance overall. We've cashed in 15 of 20 UFC events this year, and I plan on making this number 16 this week, so I'm excited about it. But before we do, definitely, like, subscribe, comment. I love the conversation that we're having, whether it's on Twitter or on YouTube. And again, we're always not going to agree, but we're here to beat the bookies. We're on the same team, looking to make that money. So let's get into it, shall we? We're going to talk the main event of the evening between Arman Tsarukyan and Mateusz Gamrot. Right now you've got Tsarukyan, he is minus 300. On the other side, we've got Gamrot, he's plus 250. And like we always do here, we're going to talk about 3 fights for each fighter, see what we see if one fighter can expose the other fighter, and if the line makes sense to place a wager. So the first person we're going to be talking about here is Arman Tsarukyan, and 3 fights ago he fought Matt Frevola. Now Frevola, he's a scrappy guy, likes to get in there, make it dirty, and especially against someone like Arman, he has to make it dirty. He can't stay out, be technical, work at range, and he has to make it dirty, make it sloppy. He wasn't able to do that. Right away, you saw Arman get the takedown, get control. Even though Frevola got up, this whole situation here still showed the relentlessness that Arman brings, where he just will consistently push for the takedown, push control, push pressure, have volume, and that all mixes up with using a lot of your energy, a lot of your gas tank, and he just kept it on. Wasn't able to finish Frevola, who Frevola is not the easiest guy to finish, but Arman dominated from beginning to end in that fight there. He gets a sweeping decision victory, so there you have it there. 2 fights ago, he fought Christos Giagos. And this one here, again, not too much to go over here. We're kind of, again, wrap it all up at the end. But this was a spot here where, again, Arman, quick takedown, looking for the takedown. And the one thing that Giagos has is he's able to scramble well. You've seen him do it, and boy, he just couldn't really keep him down. Quickly got up. The one thing that it kind of looked like, well, hey, I'll be okay if I'm standing, if I'm in that opportunity to kind of be at range. And Arman just has so many weapons. He goes out there, drops him, lands a big shot, gets on top of him, ground and pound finish in the first round. Really, again, another great performance from him. Arman looked fantastic, goes out there and gets the first round finish. And then most recently he fought Joel Alvarez, and this was one here. Alvarez is a tall, big guy for the division, and he's got these long legs, he's rangy. There's a lot of advantages that he does have. He does have some grappling, so there's a lot that goes in there where a lot of people really kind of saying this is going to be a very tough test for Arman in this fight. And boy, did he really cruise through this one almost. Right away gets the takedown, and in that first round, the one thing that Arman did too is he got that takedown, but he was very smart in the grappling situation where he did not really leave any space between them. He stayed pressuring, kept very good top heavy control, pushing down on Alvarez. Alvarez is really always looking to kind of utilize his long legs, whether he's looking to get space, a sweep, transitioning out of the bottom position, and he kind of played guard there. He didn't really do too much once, Arman was on top, kind of doing some ground and pound, but near the end of that first round, Arman lands a beautiful elbow right across the nose of Alvarez. Alvarez bursted open from his nose, blood everywhere. It almost looked as if they were going to maybe call it going into, because the round ended, first round ended, they're going to the second round, doctors looking at it. I mean, Alvarez looked just battered. And right away, going into that second round, more of the same. Arman gets him, gets on top of him, ground and pound, gets the ground and pound finish, mauled him in the second round. He gets another TKO finish in the second round. Now on the other side, you got Mateusz Gamrot here. Now Gamrot, again, plus 210. 3 fights ago, he fought Scott Holtzman. And this was one here where the one thing that you do see Gamrot do a lot is, especially in this fight too, is he kind of fakes the takedown, just tries to get you thinking, and throws the shot. Now that's something I talked about a little bit with Josh Emmett last week, is that Josh Emmett loves to do that. He has so much power and so much belief in his power that he doesn't use it wrestling much, but he almost uses it as if a disguise to throw the big shot. And Gamrot does not have this massive power, but he does have the ability to kind of mix it up, change the pace a little bit. And he was doing that early when he was fighting Holtzman. He was able to kind of land some shots, fake the takedown, land some shots. He looked pretty good in that first round. But the one thing here was going into that second round is that Holtzman throws everything behind his shots in this fight. He was throwing everything behind his shots, which really left him open to be countered a lot. I mean, that was one thing that, even you hear the announcers kind of saying, Holtzman is just throwing everything behind these. It's throwing him out of position for, allowing himself to be countered. And this was a spot here where once they were on the feet, he got dropped. Gamrot landed a nice shot, ended with some nice ground and pound, gets the finish in that in that second round, and gets the finish over a tough Scott Holtzman. And then 2 fights ago, he fought Jeremy Stephens. Again, this is another tough test here for him, and Stephens was kind of talking a little bit of trash before this one, that he's going to, stop the hype and all these things. But boy, did Gamrot not fuck around in this fight. I mean, he did not want to screw around. He did not want to do anything. He did not want to stand and bang with Stephens. He goes in, he gets a quick level change, and as soon as he got the level change, Stephens looked like he felt confident grappling, and all of a sudden he hooks in a Kimura, finishes him within the first minute of the fight. Stephens looked almost confused at what even happened, but it shows the killer instinct. It shows the ability of Gamrot, that he's able to kind of, again, a guy like that, Jeremy Stephens, who is a big banger, who's a well-rounded guy, who's a tough fighter, he goes in there and gets that first round finish. It does say a lot about him there, but he goes out there and does get the victory. And then, most recently, Gamrot fought Diego Ferreira, and against Diego here, Diego's an older fighter, you know what I mean? He has good grappling credentials, has never really been able to kind of get to that next level in his career. But the one thing that he did show here was really good grappling defense here. And this is a spot here again where Gamrot looking to get the takedowns, looking to kind of bring it there. And I gotta say that Diego was landing really nice shots. For a guy that doesn't really have the greatest striking, he was landing. He was really landing on Gamrot. Gamrot was trying to mix it up a little bit, but getting caught on some shots. It was a close round, but I gotta say, seeing Gamrot get hit by Diego that much early in that fight, I think, puts up some question marks when you look at it there. But the one thing that he kept doing was that Gamrot kept pushing forward, landed a big shot, which honestly at this point in that second round, I would almost say first round maybe was Ferreira, and then, second round was kind of in the mix there. But either way, Gamrot lands a big shot, drops him, gets the finish in the second round, a TKO victory. So there you have it there. So with that being said, I mean, obviously, first thing I gotta say is the fact that Arman Tsarukyan is 25 years old. That is, I mean, I think he's 17-2, if I'm right or wrong on that, I'm not sure, but he has got a solid amount of fights. He's a young dude, and man, he just looks like a world beater. I mean, in the making, he looks like a world beater, and that just shows that each one of these fights that are going to be coming up for him, this one and the next ones, whatever, he is gonna have a lot of just evolving, elevating, getting better at things, which is absolutely scary for anybody in the division. But that just shows just what's going on with him is that he's a young dude and he is focused and he is hungry to keep moving up the ranks. And I think that just says a lot at being such a young age. That's one part. But the other part here is he's got great wrestling. He's got great grappling. Good with his chain wrestling. He does not give up. He latches on and he starts switching and looking for other ways to get the takedown. He's relentless with it. He's gonna keep pushing forward with it. Heavy pressure. He's gonna look to do that. Every round that this goes, he's gonna be looking to do that, getting in your face, whether he's firing big shots or also looking for the level changes. And he's got solid striking. I mean, that's the thing. He's not just this great grappler. He's got the striking, and that has continued to elevate too. He mixes it up. I love what he does there with that. And I think he's far more athletic also than Gamrot. And Gamrot, he's got the grappling, got strong grappling there. There's some things that he does well. But if you look at the fact of the striking part of this, I touched on it for a second there, Arman is very versatile. I mean, he is so versatile with striking. He's the kind of guy that doesn't just look and fire, let me just work the body, or let me just shoot for the head, or let me just, throw some leg kicks. He mixes it up so well, and I think a lot of that helps disguise some of his takedowns, is where he's firing, a body kick, a headshot, looks to throw another leg kick, then throws a punch to the ribs. He mixes it up, these combinations, which it doesn't really give you any tells when it comes to where the strikes are coming from, as well as his takedown. So that is a big part of this. And again, I just think that is critical, where a guy like Gamrot, who is gonna probably look for some takedowns. But also part of this is Gamrot's hittable. And again, I said it just prior, is that, against Diego Ferreira, seeing an older journeyman fighter land shots against Gamrot is concerning for anyone that's looking to back Gamrot here. I mean, that is very concerning, where you've got Arman, who is far better of a striker than Diego, and yet he was able to land. So that's going to be very worrisome for him. And then the other part is the grappling here. Now, obviously, both of them, they're both great grapplers. They've got that ability to get it there. And a lot of times, and I think we've talked about it here too a couple times, is a lot of times if two guys are grapplers, all of a sudden it turns into a boxing match. So you don't know how that really kind of will play out. It could nullify each other. It could limit the grappling exchanges in this fight. But the big part here is really what Arman does. And it's really, again, I talked about it a little bit, is the mixing up of it, is the fact that he's going to force action on Gamrot. And Gamrot there, where if they're going to be looking to shoot, if Gamrot's going to be in a position looking to shoot, Arman's okay with that. If they're going to be standing, I highly favor Tsarukyan in the stand-up. So it starts to limit some of the things that Gamrot can really do. And if he's going to be looking for those takedowns, again, I just think that's a bad spot for him. Well, let me talk about this part here, but that's a bad spot for him. And the biggest reason that it's a bad spot for him is the fact that Gamrot has talked about, and I think it was just before the Holtzman fight, where he talked about, hey, I'm not sure if I can wrestle 3 rounds. I'm not sure if I can. Now, this is a main event here, but he was talking about this, is that he doesn't know if he's got the gas for it to keep going, and Saturday night, he is going to have a gas tank to last against Tsarukyan. Tsarukyan is not going to be, off the gas pedal. He pushes forward, he keeps the pace, pushes a high pace there, and I think that starts to really push you and tick you a lot towards Tsarukyan here. Obviously, the numbers there, -300. He is the bigger favorite in this spot here. But I think one of the biggest things is going to be that cardio. And that, to me, in a situation like this, where you've got a guy who probably is going to have to wrestle and defend some wrestling exchanges, and not only that, but Gamrot, I think, is going to have to throw in some level changes when they're standing on the feet and Arman's landing some big shots. So in this spot here, I do like Arman Tsarukyan to get this victory here, but obviously I'm not going to be giving out a -300 on the show here. So what I really like in this spot here is I like Arman Tsarukyan inside the distance, +150. We're getting off the big -300 number. I think it's a great spot here. I think that early, it could be a kind of a closer fight maybe in that first round, but I think as this fight goes, Arman is going to be looking for the big shots, pushing the pace, And that is really where I believe second and third round and so on, it's going to start to really wear on Gamrot. I just think that there isn't really many places where Gamrot can feel comfortable, where he's not going to feel comfortable on the feet, and I don't think he's got the ability to just purely out-grapple Tsarukyan over the course of the fight. I think that he's in a bad spot here. I don't think this gets to the scorecards here. I do like Arman Tsarukyan via inside the distance, plus 150, getting off the minus 300 number. That is my play for this main fight. And the other fight we're going to talk about here is Neil Magny versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. You've got Magny, he's plus 310. You've got Rakhmonov, he's minus 400. Quickly going to go over this one here for you here. And obviously you've got Neil Magny, a vet of the game. Good cardio, kind of a guy where he's rangy, long for the division, and can kind of push up against the fence and kind of manipulate, keep position, and win rounds that way. That's kind of been the way that Magny's been able to do it. But near side Rakhmonov here, man, I mean, I'm high on this guy. I mean, he is really fantastic. He's got it all. He's well-rounded, seeks finishes, looks for the finishes, good pace, good volume, and as well as he's unorthodox. He kind of comes at his opponents with a different kind of plan than a normal fighter does, kind of different angles, different looks. I like what he does there. But really, when you look at it also, that Rakhmonov, 2 solid wins in the UFC since he's been here, and defeating 2, he had a submission victory in the first round and a submission victory in the second round, beating 2 UFC vets. That really says a lot to me, that right away when he gets into the UFC, they pin him up against very tough opponents, and he passed with flying colors. Says a lot about him. But the one thing here is that there's really 2 paths for Neil Magny in this fight. And it's really going to be the ranginess, utilizing his reach. He's got a massive reach. Utilizing his reach, staying on the outside, trying to put a big pace on Rakhmonov over the course of the fight. And also is if he can kind of do what he's done to some other opponents. Push them up against the fence, keep them there, out-grapple them, out-clinch them, outwork them, get them tired, and just kind of chip away on the scorecards. Now, the other side of that is, one, when it comes to his reach, he has no idea how to use it. I mean, Neil Magny legitly doesn't know how to use his massive reach. If he ever figured that out, I mean, now he's 34 years old, but if he had ever figured that out, I think that helps him a massive amount if he's able to kind of utilize that and then have the cardio to back it. He just has never been able to do it, just doesn't have the striking ability, and that is a path which won't be available for him in this spot. And the other side of it is pushing Rakhmonov up against the fence and keeping him there. Rakhmonov is good in the clinch. He looks for underhooks when he's up against the fence. He will reverse position. He's active. He will keep going, looking to always continue to advance his position, where a lot of times you do see Magny kind of stagnant, even when he's got his opponent up against the fence. He's kind of comfortable leaving it there, and then yet throwing a couple weak shots to the ribs and keeping them there. And those are things I don't think he's going to be able to do against Rakhmonov in this spot at all. And I guess the other part of this is the fact that now I like Rakhmonov here, minus 400. Again, I'm not going to be giving that type of play out. But if you look at the way this fight could go, now I like Rakhmonov to win inside the distance. We're going to get off the minus 400 number. The reason being is Rakhmonov has 15 fights. All of them have come by way of finish. He has a 100% finish rate in as a pro, which is just unbelievable. And then you look at the other side here. Neil Magny has 8 losses. 6 have come by finish. So he's a guy, when he loses by finish more often than not. So I think this is a great spot to get off the minus 400 number. We're getting a great spot here. Rakhmonov inside the distance, minus 135. Seems like an absolutely no-brainer to me at this point. I think that Magny is hittable. I think he could land the big shots. And the one part, again, is if you're taking Rakhmonov, this guy is looking for a finish. He's not one that's just going to kind of play on the outside. If he's up a round or 2 and feel comfortable about it, he is going to look for the finish. Even at any point, he's looking for the finish. So I think that this feels like a mispriced line to me. Minus 135 on a guy that has a 100% finish rate against a guy who can get finished. So for me here, I like Shavkat Rakhmonov inside the distance, minus 135, a great price. that's my other free play. So those are my free plays for UFC on ESPN this Saturday. If you're interested in my client plays, link down in the description. And let's see how we do, man. We are dominating the books. It's been a fantastic year. It's actually been a fantastic couple of years. But we're going to keep it going, and we will see you on the next one. This is Kyle Anthony's UFC Betting Show, and I'll see you next time.